Okay, this is a review of the book Rock Solid Chess, Volume 2, Peace Play. I want to show one of the games in this book. It's game number 1, and game number 1 was played between Tigran Petrosian and Vasily Smyslos. It was played in 1961. In that time it was the Soviet Union Championship in Moscow. I like to do it on this chessboard because these pieces were the one that Bent Larsen favored to watch his games or analyze. Okay, so the first two moves are c4, knight f6, knight c3, e6, knight f3, b6. Okay, so what is the name of this opening? This is the Queen's Indian defense. Okay, d4. I think it's important to watch it on a chessboard because when we play chess, we actually play chess on a chessboard, especially at tournament level, and so this helps the visualization, right? a3, d5, c takes d5, and knight takes d5. I forgot to say that nobody paid me for this review, unfortunately, but if you want to donate money or whatever you can donate, I'm very happy. Subscribe to the channel, donate money if you like the review of the book, okay? So we continued with e3, bishop e7, bishop b5, check, c6, bishop d3. How would you continue from here? Because I think the move can be a kind of counterintuitive. Black continued with c5. And if we notice, we just use that same pawn to block. So what stops white from playing again? Bishop b5. In any case, he didn't play that. Knight takes d5. Queen takes d5. D takes c5. Queen takes c5. Bishop d2. Knight c6, rook c1, queen d6, queen c2, rook c8, castle, and now black plays h6, obviously, because if he tries to castle right away, he would lose the pawn, okay? So rook f d1, and now finally red or black castle, okay? Now, at this point, the opening is definitely over, no? And here, this book was written by Tiviakov. After bishop c3 and queen b8, he asked, assess the position and decide how white should play. I think this is the importance of this type of books compared to the typical tactical position that are just a checkmate or a tactical team. Here you have to evaluate the position and decide the plan. What is white's plan? No? How is he going to play? What are you going to play? So pause the video, you are white, decide how would you continue and why. Now we can continue. If you have paused the video, we can continue to see queen a4. Here Tiviakov gives an exclamation point saying this move is good, and he says, Petrosian plays for the attack. It is interesting to ask whether black can save himself. Question, what happens after best play for both sides? And you have to answer this question. The answer that Tiviakov gives is, after 18 queen a4, white wins. He has an advantage which is bordering on the decisive. In order to survive, black must give up material and try to hold without it. And here it shows a possible line from this position, which is g6, queen g4, king h7, bishop takes g6, f takes g6, and rook d7. This means that in this example, the pawn structure is of enormous significance. White's idea can only be realized with a black pawn on h6. Okay, it seems it wasn't so good for black. Now we have to return back. How do we remember the position that was? We can watch the diagram, but unfortunately the diagram, I don't know if you can see it, it's from the white side, while I decided to watch the game from the black side, so it's a little difficult for me, but I will manage. However, I want to show one good thing, no? After there is another diagram which shows black, this side, okay, whatever it is, and it's from the black side. I don't know if it can be seen. Yes, this diagram here, it's from black side, so that is good in my opinion. Okay, we can see this diagram and see what happened. Okay, so let's go back to the diagram. Tack, tack, tack. The rook was on d1, the queen was on a4, there was a bishop on d3. Let's see if I put everything right. Yeah, I think I put everything right. Okay, so it was queen f4, 18, rook f d8, so he played this move. And here, practically, Tiviakov asked, "You're black. Which move was strictly the only one? What would have saved the game, so as not to lose?" So now you can pause the... Okay, someone is calling, like always, from Nebraska. Like always, they do it while you're doing a video, because it's very important. They are listening to you speaking, practically, in your microphone. Okay, so let's return to the video. The point here is which move was strictly the only one. So pause the video, try to... What would you play if you were black? Okay. Here our friend and teacher and mentor Tiviakov says e5 was the only move, because in this way it seems it saved the situation, and the only way to continue the attack is with g4. Okay. However, from this position, after rook f d8, Tiviakov gives the rest of the game, which is very fast, because it ends very, very easily. Okay? Queen e4, g6, queen g4, h5, and queen h3, f5. Bishop c4. Here practically, however, I think this game is very interesting for a simple reason. These two players, Petrosian and Smyslow, they were both world champions. Petrosian maybe not in 61, but he would become world champion. Smyslov was already world champion and lost the world championship to Botwinnik. So this is kind of interesting because we are seeing the top of the 1960s. So rook takes d1, rook takes d1, king f7, obviously he needs to defend this, e4, obviously is trying to go on this. Okay, look how beautiful it is to make arrows with your fingers. Queen f4, rook e1, queen g4, e takes f5, queen takes c4. Did you see this? F takes g6, king e8, g7, e5, because it's controlling the promoting square, queen takes h5, king d7, rook d1, bishop d6, bishop takes e5, knight d4, trying to stop the inevitable, but the inevitable cannot be stopped. Knight takes d4, and here black resign. Okay. Now the interesting part of this book is that Tiviakov goes back to the position where h6 was played. The pawn was not on h6, but it was on h7, and instead the pawn on g7 was on g6. And he asked other questions like how should you assess the position with a pawn on h7. And I think this is very interesting as an exercise because it shows how a small change in a position change the evaluation of the game. Okay, so this was game 1 of the book Rock Solid Chess Volume 2. Please play. Let me know if you like to watch the games in this way.